Welcome to Big Time Paranormal. I want to thank everyone over at Worldwide Paranormal Network for allowing me to be here each and every week to present some of the news. My name is Larry Gonzalez, and I run a Facebook page called Big Time Paranormal. I also have Julia Di Maria, who helps me post things on there, and we take shifts to make sure we bring the best for you guys to look at. We also want to thank my wife Maria and my daughter Casey, who helps with the show here to do research and do editing. They are the ones that make me look good. So, with that being said, let's get on with some of the news for the past week. And oh, by the way, we had gotten some responses from last week's show that they liked that we had put in some video to go along with the show. So that's what we're going to be doing from now on. As long as I can find video on some of the stories, that's the way we're going to go. So there'll be other changes too as time goes by. But for now, let's get on with some of the news. The first piece of news actually comes out of China. Now, there was a UFO that supposedly had hit an aircraft. The story goes, Air China Flight CA 4307 left Chengdu on the morning of June 4th, heading for Guangzhou, something like that. According to the Chinese daily Air China reported the possible collision occurring at 10:11 a.m. The pilot contacted the Chengdu airport and returned to Chengdu for an emergency landing. And we were able to get some video for that on YouTube. So we're going to play it for you right now. Play the video.
Shocking images have emerged from China showing the dented nose cone of a passenger plane after a mystery collision with a suspected UFO. The Air China jet was forced to make an emergency landing. After the incident, airline officials have so far refused to say what caused the damage, but flying saucer experts saying it could have been a UFO. The Boeing 757 passenger plane was flying at around 26,000 feet over China when it was rocked by a huge thud. The pilot immediately called air traffic controllers, who allowed him to touch down at a nearby airfield. It was only when the plane was grounded that the huge dent was spotted. Experts say the aircraft was at such a high altitude the impact is unlikely to have been caused by a flock of birds, with another possible explanation cited as a drone strike. But former government UFO investigator Nick Pope said, "Whatever struck the aircraft will have left evidence." He continued, "Analysis of the damaged nose cone should reveal microscopic traces of whatever struck the aircraft, or possibly even larger pieces of debris. So this is a solvable mystery. The only question is, will the notoriously secretive Chinese authorities reveal the truth about what happened?" Cases like this show that whatever people believe about UFOs.
So there you have it. What hit the aircraft at that altitude? It definitely wasn't birds. And there's no way. Who knows what it is that hit it? I'm not sure if we're going to get any kind of answers, being that China is so secretive. But if any answers do come out of it, we'll let you guys know. Okay? Our next story happens to be in China as well. A Chinese farmer jailed for making a rubber alien as the headlight went. He faked an alien, and we got this on YouTube as well. So let's check it out.
Police in China reportedly had a close encounter of the weird kind after questioning a man who claimed to have electrocuted an alien and stored its body in his freezer. The man, known only as Lee, posted on an online blog claiming that he confronted 5 aliens on the banks of China's Yellow River. As you do. One of the extraterrestrials was supposedly then killed by a high-voltage electric fence Lee had set up to catch wild rabbits. Lee then posted photos of the dead alien, which he was keeping in his freezer. Lee's story became an internet hit and came to the attention of the police, who Lee had tried contacting 3 months earlier. After interrogation from the authorities, Lee admitted that it was all a hoax and that he had assembled the body from wire ropes, bone glue and antholeucin. Apparently, he drew his inspiration from the Simon Pegg film Paul and just wanted to make more people believe in aliens.
It's still disputed whether or not UFOs and aliens exist, but we believe they do. We want to expand our group and make more people believe that aliens do exist.
Lee was charged with fabricating lies and disrupting normal social order and detained for 5 days. Now he's the one who needs to phone home.
So, as you can see, this guy's in a lot of trouble because he's out there pulling the hoax. What got me was that he was trying to bring awareness to UFOs by what? Faking an alien? Yeah, that's real good thinking. That's real logical. So, good luck to him. In Death Valley, there's these stones that appear to drag across the desert. And there's no footprints or anything yet. No one's ever seen the stones actually move. But yet you see these stones with these trails behind them. Now, somebody actually did a little study on what could have caused it, and this explanation actually comes out to be a very plausible explanation, and it has been on video on YouTube, so we're going to play that for you guys right now. Let's play the video.
They creep slowly through Death Valley, leaving zigzag trails in their wake. Meet the sailing stones of Racetrack Playa. These large rocks scattered around Death Valley's super flat Racetrack Playa mystified scientists for years. They can move as much as 820 feet over a single winter, but no one's ever seen them do it, and there are more than 150 of them. In 1972, scientists decided to figure out how they move. So they named a group of the stones and surveyed the area for 7 years. A 700-pound boulder named Karen never moved during the 7 years of the study. However, even weirder than a boulder named Karen is that a few years later, the scientists came back and Karen had moved a half-mile. In 2010, NASA researchers finally solved the mystery of the sailing stones. They buried sensors in the plane and concluded that in March, the Racetrack Playa is covered with pools of melted water from surrounding mountains. At night, it freezes around the bottom of the rocks, creating an ice collar around each stone. And in April, when more runoff hits the plane, the rocks float along on their ice collars, which leave the tracks in the soil. In other words, Karen's not as sneaky as she looks.
So, how he was able to determine this was something that was Ralph Lorenz, a planetary scientist at Johns Hopkins University. Now, what he had done was that he had obviously gotten interested in this because it was such a strange phenomenon. Because there was a lot of people that believe it was paranormal and so on. How could these rocks actually move on their own? Well, what he did was that he studied the water and so on, and the temperature and stuff. And then what he did was he just basically did an experimentation at home. Now, what he did was he got a Tupperware, he put a rock in it, and he filled it with water where the stone was just barely sticking out of the water. He stuck it in the freezer, let it freeze. After it was frozen, he went ahead and got a pan, put sand in the pan, and then he put water just above the sand. And then he took the ice with the rock out of the freezer, took it, flipped it upside down, laid it on top. Now, the ice obviously is buoyant. So then what he did was he just blew on the ice, and the ice just floated across, creating the path in the sand. Explanation. Simple physics. That's all it is. So it looks like that mystery might be solved. Okay, so now we have conventions. We have 2 that I found. Now again, I challenge anyone that if you know anyone or if you are yourself putting on a convention, put together a promo video and send it to us over at Big Time Paranormal on Facebook, and send it to me privately if you wish. And I'll make sure to get it together and post it onto this show so we can show as many people as possible. Plus, we can also post it on Big Time Paranormal. Now, if you wish, you also could send it through Worldwide Paranormal Network, where they can actually get it to me as well. We would love to be able to promote your stuff. Now, the first video is Lost Limbs Foundation Charity Paranormal Convention. Here's the video for it. Okay, so that's video one. The second one is MI Paracon 4. And here's their promo video for theirs as well. And there you are. A couple of good conventions. I urge that you check them out. Now again, there's nothing like somebody putting together a video to promote these things. I can go ahead and tell people who's going to be there, where it's going to be located, and so on. But I tend to put people to sleep. And that's not what my job is. Otherwise, I could be looking for work elsewhere. I don't want to do that. Anyway, that's it for the conventions for this week. Okay, now we had posted some things on some paranormal teams last week, and I found one that's Best Paranormal Research Investigators YouTube channels. And what they do is they actually point out certain teams on what they do, and I thought it was really good. It helps me because they save me time, at least this week. Next week's I have to go one by one trying to find good videos. But I would urge that anyone that's putting together a team promo video of what they do and so on, make sure you also post there where you're located. Because I looked at these and I have no idea where you're at. You could be in California, you could be in New York, you could be in Canada, you could be anywhere. Unless they say, we're from Ireland, or we're from Scotland, or something like that. I have no idea where you're at. And if I don't know where you're at, people that are watching have no idea where you're at. But here's the first, well, actually the only video we have this week. Check it out.
Welcome to the Weekly Flash, where we expose you to the hottest stuff around the net. I'm your host, Alejandro in Austin. In this week's episode, we feature some of the hottest paranormal investigation teams on YouTube. If you love ghost hunters or if you love ghost adventures, be prepared for some new thrills as we prove that some of the best investigation teams are not on TV. First, with its investigations and how-to videos, the Southern Arizona Ghost and Paranormal Society not only shows you some of the scariest locations in the United States, they also teach you how to create state-of-the-art equipment to perform your own investigations. Established in 2005, the team applies the process of logical observation and modern techniques to debunk acclaimed haunting. From the Oliver House, to the Vulture Mine, to the Birdcage, You get to go along for the ride as they investigate and on occasion find evidence that cannot be explained. In addition, they provide great step-by-step videos on how to create your own investigation equipment. Check out their video on how to build a geophone vibration detector that can be used to validate or debunk a wide variety of claims, from unexplained footsteps to actual furniture moving. If you like whiskey, guitar solos, and fast cars with your electronic voice phenomenon, then the Super Paranormal Action Team is your kind of crew. These guys look more like rock and roll superstars than your everyday plumber-ghost investigator, but the EVP these guys have captured are second to none. In one episode, the action team found EVPs from a Revolutionary War era general who not only lets his presence be known, but seems to have opinions on alcoholic drinks. What results is an interesting investigation where the lead investigator shares a drink or three with the ghost that you just have to see. From investigations to EVP to how-to videos, YouTube has some of the coolest investigation crews around. Do you believe in the ghost and the paranormal? Or are you confident that supernatural does not exist? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, please subscribe and make sure to tune in every Wednesday for a new episode of the Weekly Flash. In the meantime, this is Alejandro in Austin. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, there you go. Good stuff. Remember, let us know about your team. And remember, let us know where you're located, so we can make sure that people that are even in your town go, I had no idea they were in my town. So check it out. Okay, so we're going to be doing a review. Well, not so much a review, just kind of let you guys know about a movie that's coming out. It's called World War Z, starring Brad Pitt. Now, Brad Pitt's company, Plan B Entertainment, secured the rights for this film in 2007, so it's something that he's been behind for a long time, and he believes in it. Now, I know that they had test marketed with an audience, and they felt that the last third of the movie was a little on the weak side, so they brought writers back in, rewrote it, reshot it, and retested it, and it got tested very well. The audience enjoyed it. So we're going to actually play the most recent trailer for you, but this is a viral trailer, which is something that goes on the internet itself. I thought it was pretty good. So let's take a look at this.
ever shorter deadlines known as beat the clock.
Okay, there you go. Now, for the synopsis of the film, it's very simple. It says the film stars Brad Pitt as Gary Lane, a UN worker who must travel the world to find a way to stop the zombie pandemic that is defeating armies and collapsing governments. So that's just the basic of what the story is about. Since I've been hearing some good things about it, I'm going to check it out myself. I hope you check it out too, especially it has zombies, and I do like Brad Pitt movies. Okay, that's the movie for this week. So, again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here for this segment. Worldwide Paranormal Network has some things coming up. We also have some things coming up on Big Time Paranormal. In fact, this morning, right before I shot this, Julia Di Maria and I were talking on the phone about some things that we want to give you guys. Maria has also promised that if we hit 1,000 likes, that we would play, I would do a video of me dancing. Now, I haven't forgotten it. We hit 1,000 about 2.5 weeks ago, and I just haven't had time because of my job to get it together, but I have it coming for you guys. And you know what? I'm going to actually show it to you guys first on this show before we actually put on Big Time Paranormal on Facebook. So that will be coming as well. So I want to thank Worldwide Paranormal Network. I want to thank my wife Maria, my daughter Casey, and of course Julia for helping me out on Big Time Paranormal on Facebook again. And I hope all your fathers that had celebrated Father's Day this past Sunday had a wonderful time with your families. And if you're not a father yet, you will understand the blessings of being a father when that day comes. Okay, so with that being said, remember, today is your day. Go out and make it happen. We'll see you next week. Adios.